Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have an unboxing of the ASUS ZenBook Duo Edition of the Year of the Year. Let's get started. This is possibly one of the most innovative and riskiest computers with respect to its proposition. We'll get to that in a moment. But for now, let me tell you about its price. In Mexico, its launch price is $. On screen, you see the reference price in dollars to get an idea. Although remember that prices here are not the same as there. But definitely it is an extremely expensive computer, but with a very particular proposal that few computers can boast. So let's first see what's in the box and then take a brief look at the computer. Let's then open these seals in order to have direct access to this computer. The first thing we come across is obviously other boxes. ASUS is one of the manufacturers that not only includes the computer and the charger, but also other accessories, and I really like that. For example, in this case, as you are seeing, there is a case to carry your computer quite easily in a very elegant format with a soft touch inside. So it always comes in handy to have this type of accessory. Next, we come to the computer and its charger. First, we're going to take out the computer that comes in another box. I'm going to place it on this side while we finish taking out all the contents of this first box. As you notice, we were only missing the charger, and the surprise is that in this case, they also include the ASUS Pen 2.0 point, so you can also have other modes of use on the computer. But let's finish seeing the style that this charger has. As you can see, it's an ultra compact charger. I can practically hide it in my fist. So it really is a very tiny little charger that gives us 65 watts. And as you can see, in this case, its plug comes separately. And to put the plug in, you just insert this and then twist it in and you're done. So I insist that it's a very, very tiny charger. It's 65 watts and the cable that comes included in the box is from USB-C to USB-C, as you can see. So you might even get to use this charger to charge some cell phones. So it's very handy. So finally, we're going to remove this packaging, and now we're going to be able to access the computer. We opened the box and immediately we found it. In this part, there was a sticker where the manufacturer highlights the main points of this computer. For starters, it comes with an ASUS Lumina OLED screen of very good quality with good intense colors. And in this case, the proposal of the computer is very versatile because you can use it as a traditional laptop, or you can use it with the keyboard detached and have a two-screen format, or have a much larger screen, or finally lay it completely on the table to have a kind of shared format. The screen will be 3K resolution, 14 inches and 120 Hz in its refresh rate, and finally the processor is an Intel Core Ultra 9. So it definitely gives us a supreme experience. So, let's take the computer out of the box. I must say it's a considerably heavier computer than we normally see in computers, but it's obviously going to have a lot more versatility. So let's take these plastics off so we can access it directly. And here it is. Let's take a look at it. I open it up and it looks like a regular laptop, but notice how this keyboard comes with another plastic. So we're going to peel this keyboard off so we can access it. And notice in this part, it pretty much tells us how we can put the keyboard to charge and the connectivity that it's going to have. But let's remove it from this packaging. Here's the keyboard. It's actually very thin in order to use as little space as possible. And then we're right into the computer, which, as you can see, has two screens, one on the bottom and one screen on the top. So that's why you can use this computer as a sort of dual mega monitor, both vertically and horizontally. And also, of course, you can put the keyboard on top of it, so it would work like a traditional laptop. In fact, this keyboard has magnetic absorption, so once you put it on top of it, it's not so easy that it's going to slip off. You have to exert a little bit of pressure to be able to remove it from there, and that's it. So let me turn on the computer and set it up and take a look at the rest of the specs. And that's it. We've got the laptop set up so we can take a look at the main specs. Notice how the touchscreen can become very useful. And as I was saying, we have this keyboard that we can take apart just like that so we can access the two screens that it has. So we have one screen on the bottom, one screen on the top, and also, of course, we can fold them out. I think the most attractive thing is that it also has a tab on this back, so it can be a kind of a dual monitor mega setup. And we can put the keyboard on the bottom and it still works wirelessly. So I feel like this computer can give you a lot more versatility if you're one of those people who likes to work with multiple screens. But I'm going to tell you a lot more about how it works in the review. For now, I want to take a look at its specifications. Both displays are 14 inches with 3K resolution, and we're talking about OLED panels with 120 Hz in their refresh rate. So these are definitely high-end displays, and in addition to giving us a touch screen, it's obviously ASUS Pen compatible as well. So if you're also one of the designers that's going to take advantage of this, or you like to take notes or annotations on your documents, definitely that can get to give you a super good experience in this regard as well. Again, in the review, we will take a much deeper look at what you can do with this stylus, because it also offers you two buttons on this part that will surely help you to be more productive. The processor included is Intel Core Ultra 9, the latest. As you know, the I was removed from the nomenclature recently, so it's the most current processor that we're seeing right now. We also have 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X storage, so it's gonna offer a ton of speed. It uses Intel integrated graphics, but again, it's the most recent generation, so it's the Intel Arc, and it also includes an NPU to enhance everything that has to do with artificial intelligence processing. So it offers us very good specs, this processor, and with respect to storage, it offers us 2 terabytes in a single partition. Although the system does take up a good portion, but it is definitely attractive in every sense of its specifications. Its weight is 1.65 kilograms, although it gives me the feeling of being heavier, possibly because of how compact it is. By compact, I mean in terms of size, not necessarily in terms of thickness. Since it comes with 2 screens and a wireless keyboard, it will obviously not be a very thin computer. It is practically 2 centimeters thick. But still, a USB-A connector is integrated, which is rare in such expensive devices, but I think it is still very useful to incorporate it. And we also have the Thunderbolt ports. The detachable keyboard also has a USB connector for charging, and I like that it has a switch, so you can also easily turn it off. If you're concerned about durability, I also like that ASUS claims it has military-grade certification. So it has passed drop tests, high-temperature tests, and other harsh environments, and it performs well. To finish this first look, let's run this benchmark in 2 modes. First, unplugged from power with the balanced mode to see roughly what the performance would be in this profile, and then we'll run this same test with the device plugged in at maximum power. So let's wait and come back when this is done. Now I already have the computer plugged into the power, and we activate the maximum performance profile, and also through the My ASUS application we are going to select the performance mode for the fan, and we are now going to run the benchmark again to see what the score it gives us. And that's it. Here are the results. 2,371 points in the overall score, and in this case the CPU and GPU raised their score to 1,796 and 190 points respectively. You have to consider that this is not a gamer machine, so the score I think is very positive, especially for example compare it to the 15-inch MacBook Air with the M processor. In this case it is giving us much more power than the Apple M chip. So obviously we will do much more extensive and detailed tests in the video review, opening various applications, editing video and more, but for now it has been a first look and a first approach to the computer, which honestly looks very good. Notice I forgot to mention something to you. You could also use the computer without the need to carry the wireless keyboard, because virtually you can have this keyboard and even a trackpad, so you could have all this functionality as well. But we could also use the bottom screen to have other types of tools. For example, in Word, we could assign this slider to modify the font size, modify the system brightness as well, and have quick shortcuts here. So you can raise your productivity in an interesting way, although obviously it will require a configuration process and a learning curve to take advantage of all the features. But all those details I'll tell you about in the review. For now, we have reached the end of this first look and approach to this computer that looks like a super interesting alternative for those looking to experiment with new options. For now, we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, you know you can tell us about it, and we'll see you next time.